my dear friends. Before you speak again, pause. Before you finish the next sentence in your mind. Before you describe yourself to another. Before you answer the simple question, how are you? Feel the weight of what you are about to do. Because you are never merely talking. You are never simply narrating your day. You are decreeing your reality through the most powerful creative instrument ever given to man. I am. These two words are not casual. They are not ordinary. They are not harmless. They are commands. They are the living name of the creative power you call God. And that power lives in you as you. Every time you say them, every time you complete that sacred sentence, you are speaking from the throne of creation. And whatever you attach to those words becomes the form your world takes. Neville Goddard said it with absolute clarity. I am is the name of God, not was, not will be. I am present, eternal, alive now. And when you say I am tired, I am broke, I am unloved, you are not merely reporting conditions. You are creating a world. You are inviting the infinite creative power within you to wear the costume of limitation, and it will. Not because you deserve suffering, not because the universe is against you, but because consciousness is the only reality, and what you are conscious of being, you become. The world you see is only yourself pushed out. So today we are going to do what most people never do. We are going to listen. We are going to listen carefully to the things you have been saying about yourself. We are going to examine every completion of the sentence that begins with I am. And then, if you are ready, we are going to change it. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, you have arrived at exactly the right moment. This is a space devoted entirely to the teachings of Neville Goddard, one of the clearest and most uncompromising voices on consciousness and creation. We do not dilute his message. We do not mix it with everything else. We do not soften what he revealed. We go directly to the source, and we apply it. Today we are looking at what Neville taught about I am. Not as a metaphor, not as a comforting phrase, not as a decorative spiritual idea, but as instruction. This is your daily creative power, and by the end of this teaching, you will know how to use it with intention. We will explore what it means that I am is the name of God within you, how every statement you make, beginning with those words, becomes a living decree, and how you can begin today to uncover and transform the hidden agreements you have been making with limitation. Let us begin. Neville taught that your consciousness is God, not a fragment of God, not a distant reflection of God. Your I am is the presence of God individualized in you. It is the divine presence localized, looking out through your eyes, hearing through your ears, sensing through your body, and imagining through your mind. When Moses asked for the name of God, he was not given a title, a label, or a description. He was given a state of being. I am that I am. And Neville repeatedly said that this name was not given merely for worship. It was given for use. You do not pray to I am, you speak from it. You are it. The moment you say I am, you announce the presence of the only power that creates, sustains, and transforms all things. So the question is not whether you have creative power. The question is what you have been using that power to become. Because you cannot say I am without completing it. Silence itself completes it. Even in your quietest moments, you are finishing that sentence with a feeling, an assumption, a belief about yourself. And that belief, not your effort, not your struggle, not your worthiness, builds your world. Neville would say that you are not moving toward a better life. You are always living from a state of consciousness. Change the state, and life must change. It has no choice. The outer world is always only a reflection of your inner conviction. Let that settle deeply within you. You are not trying to attract something into an empty space. You are always expressing a state. What you are conscious of being, you express. What you express, you experience. And what you have been conscious of being is written into every I am statement you have spoken casually, carelessly, or sorrowfully in the last 24 hours. Think about your morning when you woke up. What did you say to yourself? Did you say, I am so tired? Did you reach for your phone and silently affirm, I am behind, I am overwhelmed, I am not where I should be? Did you compare yourself to others and whisper, I am not good enough? These are not observations. These are invocations. When you say, I am tired, you are not simply describing a passing condition in the body. You are claiming tiredness as identity. You are joining your infinite self to a limited state and commanding it to continue, and it does. Not because the state is powerful, but because you gave it the only power it ever has. Your awareness, your I am. Neville was relentless about this. He would say that you are not a victim of your conditions. You are the operant power in your world. That means you are not reporting your life. You are scripting it. Every inner conversation, every habitual phrase you use to define yourself, every answer you give when someone asks, how are you, is a thread in the fabric of what you will experience tomorrow. But here is the beauty of it. Here is the promise. Neville gave and proved, again and again. The moment you change what you are conscious of being, the world reflects it. Not eventually, not when the stars align, not when circumstances finally decide to cooperate. Immediately in the inner world, and inevitably in the outer, because creation is finished. All states already exist. You are not making reality happen. You are selecting what you experience by the state you occupy, and the state you occupy is simply what you believe yourself to be. This is why Neville placed such enormous emphasis on the words I am, he called it, the spring of all action, the beginning of all experience, the door through which everything enters your world, and you are the one standing at that door. You decide what enters, not by wishing, not by hoping, not by begging, but by assumption, and your assumptions are revealed most clearly in the statements you make, silently or aloud. Beginning with I am, you say, I am struggling, and struggle becomes the theme of your day, you say. I am stuck, and stuckness begins to organize your perception, your opportunities, your relationships, and your choices around itself. The world does not contradict you. It confirms you, because the world is your pushed out. That is not a comforting metaphor. It is law. Neville told story after story of people who discovered this and tested it for themselves. He spoke of a woman who could not find work and had been saying for months, I am unemployable. He told her to change the sentence, to dare to assume I am employable, not someday, not eventually. Now, he told her, to live from the state of being employed, not from the state of needing it. She did not wait for proof. She did not demand a bridge before crossing. She simply refused to continue the old statement. And within days an opportunity appeared that had not existed before. Not because the universe rewarded her, because her inner state changed, and the outer world, always plastic to conviction, rearranged itself to match. Try it. That was Neville's constant refrain. Do not believe me. Try it, and some of you may be thinking, but I do not say those things out loud. I do not walk around declaring that I am poor or unworthy. Good. But what are you saying inwardly? Because the inner conversation is the one that matters. Neville said that your inner speech is perpetual. It is the conversation you have with yourself when no one else is listening. And that conversation, more than anything else, determines the quality and content of your life. If your inner speech is critical, fearful, resentful, or defeated, then that is the state you occupy. And you cannot occupy a state without experiencing its effects. You may speak affirmations aloud. You may write beautiful intentions in a notebook. You may repeat spiritual phrases with your lips. But if the background hum of consciousness is still whispering, "I am not enough, I am too late, I am always left out," then that is the garment you are wearing. That is the signal you are sending. And this world, which is nothing more than consciousness made visible, will tailor experience to fit it. This is not punishment, it is principle. The law does not judge, it simply reflects. It gives you yourself. So if you do not like what you are seeing, do not curse the mirror. Change what you are showing it. Neville once said that the most important thing you can do is watch your inner conversations the way you would watch your diet. You would not knowingly eat poison. Yet how often do you feed yourself thoughts of lack, limitation, fear, and failure? How often do you identify with problems instead of power, with weakness instead of sovereignty? You do it without thinking. It becomes habit. You wake up in the same state you slept in, and you speak to yourself in the same tone, with the same assumptions, as you did yesterday and the day before. And so your world does not change. It cannot change, because you have not changed what you are conscious of being. But the moment you become aware, truly aware, of what you are saying when you say "I am," everything begins to shift, because awareness is curative. Simply seeing the pattern begins to dissolve it. And then you can do what Neville always invited you to do. You can choose again. You can select a new state. You can dare to assume that you are already what you wish to be. And from that assumption, you can speak. Let us go deeper now, because this is not merely about feeling better or manifesting a particular desire. This is about understanding who you really are. Neville was not a motivational speaker. He was a mystic. He was revealing the structure of reality, and that structure is consciousness. There is nothing outside of it. Everything you experience, everyone you meet, every condition you face is your own consciousness made visible. That means you are never truly responding to the world. You are always responding to yourself. And when you say "I am," you are not labeling a small human identity. You are declaring the presence of the infinite. "I am" is not the name of your personality. It is the name of God individualized as you. Neville taught that you are God dreaming that you are man. You are the infinite wearing the mask of the finite. And the purpose of this dream is not to escape it, but to awaken within it. To realize that the one saying "I am" within you is the same one who spoke worlds into being. And every time you complete that sentence, you are doing it again. You are speaking a world into being. Your world so. Speak carefully. Speak consciously, because you are not a person trying to use the law. You are the law in human form, and every "I am" statement is legislation. Think of it this way. When you say "I am wealthy," you are not trying to persuade the universe. You are not petitioning some external force to kindly consider your request. You are identifying with a state that already exists. Wealth is not something that may arrive someday if you work hard enough, suffer long enough, or prove yourself worthy. Wealth is a state of consciousness, and it exists now, whole and complete, waiting for you to enter it. How do you enter it? By assuming you are already there, by daring to say and feel, "I am wealthy," even when the senses insist otherwise. Neville would say, do not wait for the evidence. You are the evidence. The moment you assume it, you impress it upon the subconscious, the womb of creation, and the subconscious, infinitely obedient, begins to harden that assumption into fact. It does not ask if you deserve it. It does not consult your history. It only knows what you are conscious of being now. and it externalizes that, always. This is why Neville could say with such certainty that you are already that which you desire to be. The separation exists only in your mind. Bridge it with assumption, and the outer world will confirm it. But here is where most people stumble. They try to assume a new state, while still feeding the old one. They say, I am abundant once in the morning, and then spend the rest of the day saying, I am struggling, I am worried, I am running out of time, and then they wonder why nothing changes. You cannot serve two states. Consciousness is singular. You are always wholly identified with something. The question is, what? That is why Neville insisted you become vigilant. You must listen to yourself. You must audit your I am statements the way a gardener pulls weeds. Not once, daily, constantly. Because the weeds will return unless you are watchful. The old habits of thought, the old identity, will try to reclaim you. And if you let them, if you return to the familiar feeling of limitation, you will return to the familiar world it creates. This is not failure. This is law in action, and you are always free to choose again. The moment you do, the moment you re-enter the desired state and speak from it, creation begins again. There is no penalty for past assumptions. There is only now, and now you are free. So right now, as you are listening, I want you to do something with me. Pause and ask yourself this question. What have I been saying when I say I am? Not, what do I wish I were saying? Not, what do I think I should say? What have I actually been saying in the quiet of my own mind, when no one else is listening? What is the tone of my inner conversation about myself? Is it kind? Is it confident? Is it rooted in trust? Or is it braced for disappointment? Because that conversation, not your vision board, not your intentions, not your performance, is running your life. It is the unseen script your world is following. And if you do not like the production, you must change the script. Not tomorrow, now. Neville said that the moment you feel yourself slipping into the old state, stop, do not argue with it. Do not justify it. Do not explain it. Just stop, and gently, firmly redirect your attention. Say to yourself, no, that is not who I am. I am this. And then name the state you choose to occupy. I am loved. I am secure. I am powerful. I am free. It does not matter if it feels true yet. Assumption hardens into fact. You do not wait to feel it. You feel it by assuming it. Let me give you an example. Neville often shared in spirit, if not always in exact detail. A man came to him burdened by debt and fear. For months he had been saying, I am in debt, I am broke, I am failing, and those words had become identity. Neville told him, you are not in debt. Debt is in you. You are carrying it in consciousness, and that is why it follows you. The moment you drop it inwardly, it will drop outwardly, the man protested. But the bills are real, the numbers are real. And Neville answered, yes, they are real, as long as you claim them as yours. But you are not a man with debt. You are God in human form, and God lacks nothing. Assume you are debt-free. Feel it. Walk in it. Do not look back. The man did, not perfectly, not without doubt, but he persisted. He stopped saying, I am broke, he began to say, even silently. I am free. I am abundant. And within weeks money came, not from where he expected, not in the way he planned, but it came. Because he changed what he was conscious of being, and the world had no choice but to reflect it. That is the law, and it works whether you believe in it or not. But how much more powerfully it works when you cooperate with it, when you consciously and deliberately choose the state you wish to embody and refuse to return to the old one. So I am asking you now to become the guardian of your I am. Do not let it be hijacked by circumstance, fear, comparison, or doubt. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You are the thinker. You can choose which thoughts to identify with, and the thoughts you marry, the feelings you claim as your own, become your experience. This is not theory. This is how you have always been creating. You have always been using I am. You have always been selecting states. The only difference now is that you are becoming aware of it, and that changes everything. Now, let us move into the most practical part of this teaching, because Neville was never interested in philosophy alone. He wanted proof. He wanted you to go home, enter your room, close the door, and test the law in the laboratory of your own mind. So here is how you begin. Tonight, before you go to sleep, choose one I am statement that represents the state you wish to occupy. Not 10-1. Keep it simple. Keep it present tense. Make it feel finished. Not I am becoming. Not I will be I am. For example, if you desire financial freedom, do not say, I am trying to get out of debt. Say, I am free, or I am abundant. If you desire love, do not say, I am looking for someone. Say, I am loved, I am cherished. If you desire health, do not say, I am healing. Say, I am healthy, I am strong. Choose the statement that represents the fulfilled desire, the end. And tonight, as you lie down to sleep, repeat it gently, quietly, as you drift off, not with effort, not with strain, not with pleading, with the easy assurance of someone stating a fact. I am loved, I am free, I am whole. Let those be the last words your conscious mind hears before sleep carries you inward, because sleep is the doorway to the subconscious, and the subconscious does not argue, it accepts. Whatever you impress upon it in that drowsy state, it will begin to outpicture in your world. This is what Neville called the state akin to sleep. It is the moment when the conscious mind, with all its doubts and defenses, begins to relax. And in that relaxation, you can slip past the gate and plant a new seed. You do not need to see how it will happen. You do not need to figure out the details. You are not the architect of the means. You are simply the one who defines the end. And the bridge of incidents, the how, will be arranged for you by a power greater than your intellect. Your only job is to remain faithful to the state. Return to it again and again, especially when the senses suggest otherwise. Because the senses are always reporting the past. They are showing you the fruit of yesterday's consciousness. But you are planting today for tomorrow's harvest. So do not be discouraged by what you see. Do not let the outer world bully you back into the old state. You are no longer a reactor. You are a creator, and you create by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persisting in it until it hardens into fact. Let me walk you through it step by step, as though I am there with you. You lie down. You close your eyes. You breathe slowly and feel the body begin to soften. You are not trying to force anything. You are becoming still. And in that stillness, you bring to mind the one thing you desire most. Not the problem, not the absence, the solution, the end, the fulfillment, the fact already accomplished. Then you ask yourself, if this were true right now, how would I feel? Not, what would I do? How would I feel? Would you feel relief, peace, joy, gratitude, quiet certainty? Let that feeling rise. Do not manufacture it. Invite it. Assume it. Then gently begin to repeat your I am statement in harmony with that feeling. I am free, feel freedom. I am loved. Feel loved, I am whole. Feel whole. Let the words and the feeling become one. And as you repeat it softly, rhythmically, like a lullaby, allow yourself to drift. Do not fight sleep. Welcome it. Because as you fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are impressing that state upon the only creative power there is. Your own wonderful human imagination, which Neville identified as God itself. You may wake up and nothing appears different. Do not be moved. The outer world is always the last to know. You have set something in motion in the invisible, and it will appear in the visible in its own time. Your job is not to worry about when. Your job is to remain in the state, to live from the end, to continue saying inwardly, with conviction, I am that which I desire to be. And every time the old feeling tries to creep back in, every time you catch yourself saying, I am still struggling, I am still waiting, stop, return to your assumption. I am free, I am loved, I am whole. This is not denial, this is decision. You are deciding who you are, and the world will reflect that decision. Neville once said, do not wait for things to change. Change your conception of yourself, and you will automatically change the world in which you live. Do you hear that? You do not change your life by fighting the world. You do not change your life by rearranging people. You change your life by changing yourself. And you change yourself by changing what you are conscious of being. And what you are conscious of being is most clearly revealed in what you say when you say I am. So become conscious of it. Listen to it. Guard it. Redirect it. This is your practice. This is your discipline. Not endless complication. Not elaborate ritual. Not waiting for the perfect mood. Simply this. Watch what you say when you say I am, and make sure it matches the life you intend to live, because you are not becoming that life. You are always living from a state of being. Change the state, and the life follows. Now, let me take you deeper still, because we are not only talking about getting things, we are talking about remembering who you are. Neville did not teach manifestation in the shallow sense. He taught awakening. He taught that you are not a human being trying to become godlike. You are God dreaming you are human. And the reason for this teaching, the whole reason Neville stood on platforms, wrote books, and told story after story, was to awaken you to that truth. You are the operant power. You are the creator. You are I am, not symbolically, not poetically, literally. The same presence that said, let there be light, is saying, I am through you right now. And every completion of that sentence is an act of creation. So when you say, I am weak, you are not describing weakness. You are commanding it into form. And when you say, I am powerful, you are not hoping for power. You are wielding it. This is the secret. This is what Neville spent his life trying to reveal. You are not separate from the power you seek. You are it. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. You stop begging, you stop pleading, you stop waiting for permission, for worthiness, for the right moment, for one more sign. You simply assume you claim, you decree, because you are not asking a power outside of you to hand you something. You are recognizing the power within you and directing it consciously. And that power, which Neville called your own wonderful human imagination, is infinitely obedient. It does not question, it does not hesitate. It simply creates, and it creates in the image and likeness of your assumptions. So assume wisely, assume boldly, and above all, assume consciously, because you are assuming something every moment of every day. The question is not whether you are assuming. The question is, are you assuming what you want or what you fear? Are you assuming the best or bracing for the worst? Your assumptions, not your actions, are building your world. So choose them carefully, as you would choose the foundation of your home, because you will live in what you build. Let me leave you with something Neville said that has never left me. You are not moving toward a goal. You are moving from a state. If you want something, you do not chase it. You become the person who already has it. You enter the state of having it. You think from it, not toward it. And from that state, the thing you desire is no longer ahead of you. It is behind you. It is assumed. It is done. And your world simply catches up. That is the principle. That is the promise. And you prove it by testing it for yourself, not through someone else as testimony, through your own. Tonight, choose your I am. Tomorrow, live from it and watch what happens, not with desperation, with curiosity, with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the law and is simply allowing it to do what it always does. Reflect. There is a passage in Scripture that Neville loved deeply. I am the resurrection and the life. He would say that this is not merely Jesus, the man, speaking to you. This is your own. I am speaking. You are the resurrection of every dead hope, every abandoned dream, every dismissed desire. The moment you say I am and claim the state of the wish fulfilled, you resurrect it. You call it back from the grave of impossibility and breathe life into it again. Not through struggle, through assumption. You do not make it happen. You let it happen by becoming the one to whom it has already happened, and that becoming is not far away. It is a present choice. Right now you can choose to say, I am that. And the moment you do, you are, not in potential, in truth. Because consciousness is the only reality, and what you are conscious of being, you are. So imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you took this seriously, if you stopped explaining your limitations and started assuming your freedom, if you stopped rehearsing your problems and started occupying the solution. What would change? Everything. Not because the law would suddenly begin working, but because you would finally stop resisting it. You would stop working against yourself. You would stop giving power to the very conditions you do not want by identifying with them. And you would begin consciously and consistently identifying with the life you do want. Not someday now, in imagination first. Because imagination is the real world. The world you see is only the shadow. Neville said it again and again. Imagination is God. It is the creative power. And when you imagine yourself to be something, you are not pretending. You are selecting. You are tuning in. You are saying yes to a state that already exists. And you are allowing it to embody itself in your experience. This is not make-believe. This is the mechanism of reality. You are always imagining. You are always assuming. You are always occupying a state. And the state you occupy, whether you know it or not, is externalizing as your life. So, why not occupy the state you prefer? Why not assume the best? Why not dare to complete the sentence I am with the highest, richest, most expansive truth you can conceive? Not because you have earned it, not because you are special, but because you are I am, and I am has no limits. The limits are only in the adjectives you attach to it. So attach new ones, better ones, truer ones, and watch your world reshape itself to match. Now, before we close, I want to leave you with one simple practice to carry into the rest of your day and into your sleep tonight. Begin to listen, really listen, to the background conversation in your mind. Not to judge it, only to notice it. And every time you catch yourself completing the sentence I am with something, you do not want to be pause. Do not spiral. Do not condemn yourself. Pause and gently, consciously, complete it differently. I am not stuck. I am moving forward. I am not forgotten. I am seen. I am not lacking. I am provided for. You are not arguing with reality. You are selecting a new reality. And that selection, made over and over, becomes your new habitual state. And your new habitual state becomes your new life. It is that simple, not always easy, because the old habit is strong, but simple. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Until one day, you realize you are no longer struggling to assume it. You are simply living from it. And your world reflects it so completely that you forget there was ever another way. Neville would say that the day you stop declaring what you are not and start claiming what you are, everything shifts. not because you have manipulated the universe, but because you have remembered the truth. You are not a victim. You are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of chance, circumstance, or timing. You are the operant power in your own experience. You are I am, and every time you say it, you are speaking with the voice of God. So speak life, speak freedom, speak abundance, speak love, because the universe is not listening to your words. It is feeling your conviction. And whatever you are inwardly convinced of, persistently and faithfully, must become your experience. That is the law, and you are never outside of it. You are always within it, always creating, always expressing, always becoming what you assume yourself to be. So as you go from here, carry this with you. You are not trying to change your life. You are changing your I am. And when your I am changes, your life has no choice but to follow. It is not magic. It is law. It is structure. It is the way consciousness works. And you right now are consciousness in operation. So operate consciously. Make your I am a blessing, not a burden. Use it to heal, not to hurt. Use it to uplift, not to tear down. Use it to build the life you want to live, not the life you are trying to escape. And remember this, you are doing this every day anyway. Every time you speak, every time you think, every time you feel, you are planting seeds in the garden of your mind. So plant good seeds. Water them with attention. Pull out the weeds of fear and doubt by replacing them with assumption and conviction, and watch them grow, because they will. The harvest is certain. The only question is, what are you planting? Your I am is the seed. Choose it well. Nurture it carefully, and reap the harvest of a life lived consciously, powerfully, and beautifully, because that is what you are here to do. That is your birthright. That is your destiny. To awaken to the power within you and to use it to create a world that reflects the truth of who you are. The I am, the infinite, the eternal, the creator, the operant power. So take a deep breath, let it out, and say it with me, silently or aloud. I am, just I am. Feel the presence, feel the power, feel the truth of it. And now go out and complete the sentence with something worthy of the one who says it. Because you are the one who says it, and you are the one who will live it. So live it well, from the state of the wish fulfilled, from the state of I am, and let the world catch up, because it will. It always does. It has no choice. It is the law, and you are the law in action, so act, assume, become and be. I am loved, I am free, I am whole, I am enough. Feel it until you sleep in it. Sleep in it until you wake as it, because you are not becoming it tomorrow. You are it now, and the world is simply waiting for you to stop arguing and start assuming. The moment you do, it bows, it reflects, it confirms. Not because it has changed, but because you have, and you are the world. You are the operant power. You are. I am. Now go and be it. This is Neville Lectures. I'll see you again in the next video.